Today we're on an adventure in smelting. The idea in smelting is to use this for a crucible and a casting form, if you will, just to make a blank. And the blank is just for some material to work with here on the lathe. This bottle's about 3 inches in diameter. The inside is about, say, about 2 7/8 inches in diameter inside. And then, of course, the casting, the aluminum ingot will shrink up a little bit in there. This is one I did before, and I just cut the top off, put this in my forge. So this was the first one I tried, and on this one I put it in the forge and I was just dropping cans in there. I'm going to make a big ingot. How I have made the crucible for this particular ingot is just by cutting the top off of a propane bottle. So my intention today is to just melt a bunch of cans and fill this crucible up as much as it will fill up, and then I'm just going to let it cool off. I'm not going to pour it into molds, even though there's a mold sitting there warming up. I'm not going to pour this into a mold. I'm just going to leave it in there. I will put the whole thing in my lathe and just turn the steel off of it, and then I'll have a big about a 3-inch diameter aluminum cylinder to play with. And the cans were not melting fast enough, and the steel overheated, and ultimately it blew out. So all this stuff is aluminum oxide, really, that came out of the form. So this one didn't work out too well. One thing I like about the propane bottle crucible is it heats up a lot faster for me relative to the heat that I'm putting into the smelter. The steel heats up a lot faster because it's real thin compared to a graphite crucible. It's really kind of cool watching these cans just disappear down into there. It's like watching a campfire burn with added eye candy. The can's got, a dimple in the bottom there. It's concave, and it'll get a little air trapped in there. And as soon as the air superheats, and as soon as the aluminum melts, it farts a little bit. Just because I just like watching them slide down in there. Slide down into the molten aluminum. I've got my lawn chair set up. Feeling good. Life is good. I think it's supposed to be in the 60s, maybe even 70s today, but it was cool this morning, so I decided it was a good time to make ingots. That one doesn't fit in there very good. I'll make it. So, obviously I'm wearing a welding glove to stick these cans in here. You know me, safety first. Second one, I actually used ingots. So I melted ingots in my regular crucible, and then I put the ingots in here, and the ingots had enough mass that they were able to melt. They were able to melt and fill up the the form easily without destroying the steel. And at least blowing it out in the bottom, because that's what I didn't want it to blow out, obviously. Now the steel itself is sacrificial. So ultimately, after I poured this, then I put it back on the lathe and cut through, took the bottom of the steel off. Then I took a wafer wheel on a 4-inch grinder. You can see a couple little marks here. And I cut through the steel and just unwrapped it. And so now I've got a big blank. I think this is about 2 3/4 of an inch. I got a couple little voids in here, but this is still quite a bit of usable material. Since this was just in the steel and it was in open air, instead of shrinking uniformly like it would do more in a sand casting, it just dropped out. And you'll see when people do castings, they build in a reservoir for the casting just for this. But since this is just stock anyway, it looks like it went in, let's see, from the very top of it, it divoted about 2 inches. So first 2 inches of this obviously are going to have a void in there, but I can just cut that off, unless I needed something ring shaped that I could turn out on the lathe there. I just cut that off and remelt it into the next one of these that I do. But what we're using is an old propane bottle like you would use for a plumbing torch. And I suppose you could use the camping bottles, which are bigger around and shorter usually. I don't know what these are weight wise, maybe it's like a 1 pound bottle of propane or something like that. I'm going to take the lathe and cut it off here. And I tried to use a parting tool the first time, and as soon as it got to the point where it was actually breaking through the metal, it would lock the lathe up. And it might do that. This time in using the parting blade, I'm using a thin pointed blade, and I think it's got a 1/16 of an inch radius on it. If you know what lathe tooling is, then you're ahead of me. You can take anything that will fit down in this hole, and there's a check valve in here, and just push on it. I can feel it, it's spring loaded. For a little added safety, because you know me, I'm all safety first. Yeah, right. I'm going to go ahead and drill that check valve out and make sure that the inside of it's open to the atmosphere before I start cutting on it. Makes me feel a little better. May not be necessary. First thing I need to do is kind of get this a little closer to straight. Begin with anyway. So fire up the Vevor MX S1170, and this is just some more footage of how well, or not necessarily well, this lathe does. You can see on the bit, I've got, looks like a little bit of that plastic and an O-ring on there. Off. Now you can hear that check valve rattling around in there as I cut it out. So now we're open the atmosphere. Let's try that. Try the old Lathe dead center. I've noticed on my dead center as I'm turning stuff, these bottles, it's already kind of got the dead center marred up pretty bad. I think a live center would work better. I think I'm mostly through on that. Get that out of the way. But yeah, my dead center's not doing, it's not too healthy back here. This little V-shaped tool worked better than the parting tool. Oh yeah, I got it. This is one thing you might notice on these bottles, you know, they're not precision made, so that spout is welded on there or a little bit crooked. So that doesn't help any. Of course, the top of this is going to be rather sharp. So that's what a propane bottle looks like on the inside. Of course, that check valve was there. And now, it's just almost like a little bicycle Schrader valve that was in there holding the gas pressure in. So now I've got a nice little container to put my aluminum in. Again, if I was sand casting, this might not shrink up so much, and it actually might shrink up enough where the aluminum would fall out of here. But right here where these two upper and lower shells are welded together to make this propane bottle, there's a lip in there. So it'd have to shrink up quite a bit on the diameter in order for the ingot stock to come out of there. So again, I ended up just cutting around here once it was poured, and then just cutting right down through there. And the way I could tell if I was getting into my aluminum with that little wafer wheel on the grinder was the aluminum doesn't throw sparks. So when I saw my sparks were decreasing, you know, I knew that I was all the way through, and I didn't cut real deep into my aluminum, so I wouldn't have to turn nearly as much off to get the maximum diameter of stock out of that piece of aluminum as I could. So there's that.